AITAH for not accepting a dozen roses from my husband after my surgery. I had to have a lumpectomy on one of my breasts due to cancer. My husband took me to the hospital for the procedure and left to go run errands. I had never had this procedure done before, and finding out I had cancer was a scary thing. He said he'd be right back while they were prepping me for surgery. Once I was ready and waiting to go into surgery, the nurse asked if I wanted my husband to come sit with me until it was time to go in. I said yes, but she came back and said she couldn't find him. I sat in the room by myself for an hour, and he still didn't show. I went into surgery without any reassurance from him. No kiss on the cheek with an "I love you" or "everything will be okay." It was such a lonely feeling, and I was wishing that I had brought my mom with me instead. The procedure was done within an hour, and I was in the recovery room. Once my anesthesia wore off, I was awake and realized my husband still had not returned. At this point I was really getting worried. The nurse said he wasn't answering his phone, and she seemed irritated that he wasn't there. The nurse went on to give me post-surgery directions, which I was only half listening to because I was still kind of out of it, plus with my increasing worry of where the hell my husband was. The nurse comes in after a half hour and says, "Sweetie, we are still trying to call him, but if he doesn't get here soon, you won't be able to leave. There is a big storm coming in, and this wing will be on lockdown until the storm passes." I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. I just wanted to go home. 10 more minutes go by and he waltzes in with a dozen roses, like he was the most thoughtful husband ever. When I asked where he was, he told me he was at the bar because he was hungry for one of their delicious burgers. I told him that I had been waiting alone throughout the whole ordeal, and that he should have been there for me. He said he was sorry and held out the roses. I told him he could take the roses and shove it, and that I was never having him come with me during a medical procedure ever again, because he sucked. I was getting part of my breast removed while he had a tasty burger and a beer. WTH. Tears streamed down my face the entire ride home. I had no idea how many views this post would get or how much support I would receive, so I thank you all so much. I want everyone to know that this post was an event that happened to me in 2010. Next time I will write that initially to avoid confusion. I chose to write this in AITAH because when this did happen, my husband made it seem like I was the ungrateful one for not appreciating his thoughtful gesture. Even though many years have gone by, I thought it would be interesting to get feedback on this event in my life. So, for those who thought this was a fake story, it's not. Date. So, yes, 15 years have gone by, and for those who I haven't responded to, I am getting divorced now. Other life events took precedence to getting a divorce soon after this had happened, and in 2010, I wasn't ready to make that decision. I found out that he was a drug addict and I tried to help him in his recovery. We had kids and I still loved him then. He was also sober for about 6 years, at least that is what I think was true. And I thought things were going to be okay. So much happened in the time from 2017 to now that I am going to have to post other stories on here. If you thought this story made him an asshole, the other stories more than sealed the deal for divorce. I kicked him out and we have been separated for almost 3 years. Divorce will be final next month. I am happy to say that I am cancer-free, even though I had a second diagnosis with breast cancer in 2023, which is the reason the divorce isn't already a done deal. But now I am strong and ready to fight this last battle, as I call him my third and last cancerous tumor that needs to be removed from my life. Thanks again everyone for all the love and support. Means a lot.